until it's the
Yeah.
time. I think had we known, both of us are based in Dubai, so had we known, we would have just done it
That's early,
earlier.
wouldn't we?
Yeah, because we're like doing it on UK time.
Yeah,
So
man.
you never know, someone might
Alhamdulillah.
jump in last
Yeah,
minute.
inshallah.
Um,
Tell me about your week, man. I finished off episode 300 yesterday.
yeah.
Uh,
How long did it take you to watch it?
I had to spread it out over a couple of days, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, alhamdulillah, man. I enjoyed it. It was like all the nostalgic vibes of Sam and Faisal. It was nice, man. It's really, really nice to sit and watch it. Yeah, talk to me about the week, though. I don't think you've actually given like an actual in-depth dive into the week, have you yet?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Other than the vlog itself.
Yeah. So I took 3 days off Tartil work and spent those 3 days fully, obsessing over Freshly Ground and this episode, and it was a lot of fun, alhamdulillah. And so basically, like, to track it all the way back, Sam, we obviously knew like around when we were going to hit episode 300 because maths, and and you know what's really interesting? Sorry, the reason I'm going to be slow, it's the elephant in the room for me. So I've got a new lens on the camera that I'm testing out, and I watched this video once, which you probably haven't seen because it's like you have to like be deep into like camera setups and stuff to like be following pages like this, but you might have seen it. But basically, it talks about how different lenses make your face look different. And so this guy was putting different lenses on, and his face looked like completely different.
It's like a depth in it, like a depth change.
Like it can make your nose look bigger, it can make your face look wider, longer. And I normally have 30 mil on here, and I've got a 16 mil. And I look so different to what I look like.
Can I just say, yeah, before we go any further?
Do I look the same to you?
No, you do look the same. Actually, now that you mention it, maybe no.
I think I look worse, if I'm being honest.
To be honest, because the quality is so bad right now of the internet connection, like it's hard to tell. It's quite pixelated, but something does look a little bit different, other than the fact you put glasses on. I can't put my finger on what it is.
It's maybe the lens, bro. Like is your face
the lens? Is your face a tiny bit wider than usual?
Oh, thanks, bro. No joking. I think it's longer. I don't like the 16 mil at all. I'm going to be honest. I don't like it at all. Like, as in, I like them. Yeah, that's true. I'm not going to. I was thinking about changing it. Okay, so yeah. So
sorry, let me interrupt you because your audio. I don't know if it's just me. Could be. You're sounding a bit like alien-y, like it's coming across like almost like an echo, but it's like an instant echo. If that makes any sense.
An instant echo.
Yeah, okay. It's hard to describe it.
Let me replay this back to myself, and then we'll drop back on. But let me have a look at it.
Do that, just in case.
Okay, so back on. So yeah, so around June, July time, did the maths, figured out that around mid-November, would be episode 300. We obviously got our maths slightly wrong because we ended up doing extra episodes. I actually. Originally, Sam was like, the way we booked it, he'd actually be about a week or two early so that we'd have the footage like in advance. But because we started shooting these extra Sunday episodes, we like actually ended up being about 2 weeks late. But then, so we just like missed a week, and we did like 299.1 and stuff like that. So anyway. So around July, August, we booked this for Sam to come down in November, and we're like, and then we kind of booked it. We left it like it was like, right, episode 300 is coming. Every kind of like 100 episodes, we do something special, and so we're obviously going to do something special, but no idea what that's going to be. And at the time, I was like just starting my role at Tartil and stuff. So I was like, look, let's book your flights and accommodation and all that kind of stuff. Like, we know that we want to do something in person, and we know that it's more realistic, that like it makes sense to utilize Dubai because, we don't utilize Dubai as a backdrop. So let's do that. But other than that, we hadn't really planned it. And we were like, we'll figure it out. So the closest we'd come to like a concept was shooting just a regular podcast episode, or maybe like a Q&A episode, but in the desert, which I think would have been cool. But I think what we ended up doing was cooler because we did the desert as well anyway in the end. So then as the time got closer, so Sam and I were going back and forth on a few ideas, and there was like two main things that piece of feedback he was getting, and one of them was, we missed old school kind of nostalgic, relaxed conversation between Faisal and Sam, and then the second thing was like, oh, you got, Faisal's moved to Dubai, but we never see Dubai, and so it'd be nice to see that. So we're like, well, why don't we do like we did Dubai vlogs a few years, like 4 years ago when we came to Dubai. You know, they were great, and so we thought, why don't we just do 3 days of just essentially celebrating that we hit 300 episodes. So doing things that I don't normally do. Like I don't go on a yacht here. Everything that I did in that video, I did for the first time, even though I've been in Dubai for 8 months. Like first time I did the frame, first time I did the yacht, first time, well, I came on holiday a few years ago and like a group of us like booked a boat, but yeah, not to that level. And the first time I've done the desert like that and stuff like that. So it was really fun, man. So we thought, let's just like, and we were like, it could have gone really wrong or it could have gone like really great. And alhamdulillah, it went the latter, it went really great. But like, it could have gone wrong in the sense that it could just end up being just a vlog. And people were like, why are we just seeing a vlog? Which it kind of was, but like people loved it, which was good, alhamdulillah. And the other thing that we could have got done wrong is that we don't normally like do like flashy stuff and freshly round ever. Like, not because like we actually do live like that, but like we try and hide it or suppress it. But we just don't like, well, we don't live like that, but also, at the same time, it kind of goes against like, if we like too much of that is obviously like kind of goes against the idea of trying to be freshly grounded, like which is the whole point of the name, right? So but we were like, well, it's been 300 episodes, we've never done anything like that, like let's enjoy it, let's do like a celebratory thing where we put a budget together. And so Sam and I put a budget together, and we essentially went halves on the budget, except Sam ended up spending a bit more. He was like, look, I'm here, like, so we'll bless him. But we put a budget together and we just was like, let's just spend this budget and just enjoy Dubai and like celebrate. And like I said, that could have gone wrong because it could have like, oh, these guys are just like, you know, having fun, and we just we're just watching it. What the heck? But it worked out, alhamdulillah, and it was enjoyable to film and edit, and it's and to put out, and people really enjoyed it, and it's like our number one video in the last 10 videos and all that. So yeah, that was episode 300. I really enjoyed it. It was different. Normally we do live events, and but that's the BTS of it, and it was enjoyable, man.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. And I think like, obviously you say you could go wrong. Could have gone wrong in a sense that like people could have just seen you like living some high life and stuff. But one, it's not like FG is all about that. We've always never done that in the past, I don't think, on FG or anything like that. So there shouldn't have been no backlash. But also I was thinking to myself, like, it really doesn't matter what they do. Like, even if you guys just literally went to like one restaurant and did the whole thing just like over a meal, that would have still been great, because it was just like really what we're looking for. What I was looking for is just like the old school Faisal Sam banter, like back and forth, and like, you know, nudging each other here and there a little bit. And that was it. And really, the yacht and the frame and stuff, it was good to see it, but it was just like the fact that you guys were in that situation, that was what made it funny. So it didn't really matter what you guys do, really.
I think like the thing is that's just what Sam and I's relationship is like 24/7 naturally. And we live such different, we have such different lives, and we would come from such different lives, and so we always have this banter off camera, and so it's completely exactly the same when we're on camera. And so yeah, man, I think it's like a unique relationship. We have fun, and I think like that's what grew Freshly Grounded initially, like this like watching this, you know, humongous, tall, tatted up revert, and this more like stereotypical like short Asian Muslim, and then like the two coming together and just having a laugh. And like I said, that's what our relationship is like off camera. And so, but I also think like every era has its day, and like I don't think we're like oblivious to the fact that that era has like surpassed, like the era of like, you know, every week Faisal and Sam episodes. But I think it was nice and nostalgic to like bring it back. Bro, do you know what? Who's that? Sorry, man. I'll just check my phone because in case it was one of the guys who are like jumping on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. No, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a name that said it's called Contact Me, and then it's like sending me loads of messages. But I just checked it, so I was weirded out. But it's like a supplier from like Alibaba, like old scammy. Yeah, one of my old suppliers, I think, for like hats or something.
Fine.
So, bro, I can't remember what I was saying, but that's basically the end of that.
Yeah.
How are you, bro? How was your week?
Alhamdulillah, it was good. It was good because I got to spend some time with you and Sam as well. I got to see
the desert, that was fun.
Yeah, man, I got to see the off camera banter as well. It was all very good, alhamdulillah. And just meeting Sam was lovely, of course. Yeah. What I was thinking earlier today, was episode 400, right? Would be roughly, if we stuck to like the weekly thing, that'd be like 2 years if my public math is not incorrect.
Um, you're asking me to do maths, like
52,
yes,
52 weeks.
it's 50 weeks,
Yeah, 50 weeks.
but we're
50
also
weeks
going to
will
be
be
doing extra episodes for sure. So
call it a year
you
and a
can
half.
say
Yeah,
like year and a half
yeah.
max.
What like early? Let's have some early like. What's your dream
That's a
episode
good question.
400? Yeah,
I think episode 500 we have to go huge, right?
yeah, inshallah.
Because like,
Yeah,
who knows if we're gonna hit episode 1,000? I mean, who knows if we're gonna get episode 500? But 1,000 is like how many years is how many? So we just done 300. Like, if we were to average one a week, how long would it take to do 600 more episodes? 600
I'm
divided by
already
50.
Is that what it'd be? 600
Yeah,
divided by
divided by like
50.
roughly 50.
12. So 12 years.
Yeah. So like, I would be like, if Allah gives me life that long, I'll be wow.
I'll give you long life.
50,
Look at these.
40. No, I'll be 40.
Oh, 50.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't know.
12 long years. Huh?
Yeah. So
That's mad, isn't it?
yeah, so 500 then, like, is probably going to be the biggest one that we're going to like conceivably do like for a long time. So, but yeah, so basically the next big event, it's the next big like milestone.
What's a dream? Like if you could like unlimited budget, what would a dream be? Just another live event or something more spectacular? Not just another live event, but
I
a live
think
event at like Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, I think the dream would still be live event. Like that's so fun. Like that was the dream, and it still is the dream. I think the dream would be a live event, but like this time, our live events, bro, they're not. We just stick them together ourselves. We're not a big team, and we don't like have a director and like a plan and rehearsals. We get like the venue 2 hours earlier than everyone else, and then we just like quickly like throwing things together on the stage and like doing our rehearsals. Like there's no professionalism in terms of like us. Like we try and be as professional as possible, and like hopefully the events come across really like classy and polished, but really like it's all kind of stuck together. So I would like to do an event where like we're prepping for it for like 6 months. The whole staging and the event is scripted, like down to every single word. It's all rehearsed and dress rehearsed, and we get custom company come in to like rig it up and do the lighting. And so like when we come on stage, like it flashes purple, and the actual set designed and built for it. That would be, and then like the context of the live event as well is like scripted. So because you got to look at a freshly grounded live event and you think, well, what is a live event? What's a live podcast? Well, we don't want to do that. So we've tried like the first event was like super gamey and fun and like interactive with the crowd, and that worked really well. And then the next couple of events were like interview based, and that didn't, in my opinion, work as good. And then the most recent tour was fun because it was like gamey and also like people doing like keynote speeches and stuff. But I think some of the feedback we got was that the best parts of the event were like the scripted bits, the mix in the middle where before, like in between speakers coming on. So like the narrative of the whole event was like the messaging that my granddad used to give me before he died, and so I was like carrying that through the event, and people said that was the best bit. And so I think like a live event now, if I was to kind of try and direct it, would be more like we wouldn't even need guests. It would just be like the freshly grounded regulars, and we would like script something where like people walk away feeling really inspired and like positive. And so we tell stories in that way, but like our own personal, like, I don't know, some kind of stories. So that, yeah, I think that would be like a good way of doing it.
Yeah, I think that sounds good to me, man. I was going to ask
you. And
you.
then an elephant walks across the stage.
Yeah. Just parachute a tiger onto the crowd at one point. Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, you just said scripted, right? When you do public speaking,
yeah.
Do you write your script down and stick to it word for word?
So I've done, alhamdulillah, I've done enough public speaking events now to experiment a few different methods. So the 3 different types of methods I've experimented. One is just completely unscripted. The second one is bullet points, and then like unscripted but like based on bullet points. And the third one is word for word scripted and memorizing every single word. You're going to be surprised. What one do you think is the most effective?
For me, it's the second one, the bullet point one.
Fine. But for me, it was actually scripting every single word, and I came off so polished. Alhamdulillah, like
Really?
One of the brothers messaged me and was like, that was episode, I think it was called episode 250, which was the one where I did like a whole keynote, like for like an hour I just spoke. I scripted that word for word, and I memorized, and
Wow.
then I booked myself a hotel the day of the event, and I just locked myself in the room and just memorized. So I wrote my script down and I memorized it like a few times, but then I think like the event was at like 11 p.m. and I booked myself a hotel. It was a Friday, so I prayed Jummah and then I went into the hotel. So for hours, it was just me and my script, and I was just walking around the hotel room, just memorizing. I memorized it word for word. Walked into a theater, and I just said exactly what I had memorized. And the beautiful thing about that was that there was no ums and ahs, and everything came across really polished, and I could like have a tone to it. And at the time I was watching a lot of Jim Rohn videos because I was like trying to like perfect like the tone thing. And then, but the problem with it was that if you watch episode 250, like my tone is so Jim Rohn-y. It's like, have you heard of any of his talks?
Some of them, not a huge amount. I feel like, yeah.
But he has like a very particular tone where he's like,
If you want money, you gotta work for it.
yeah, exactly. So if you now look at episode 250, like I have that exact tone throughout, which is actually quite embarrassing. But it's because I was just like obsessing over his. He's a great public speaker, probably one of the best. And this thing that I've always struggled with public speaking and speaking in general has been speaking with clarity and speaking slow. It just comes unnatural to me to speak slow, even to speak clear, to be honest.
Same.
No, you're very clear, Lama Barik.
No, sometimes I slur my words a lot.
Bro, I listen back to my voice notes sometimes. I'm like, how did that person understand a word? Like, I've like listened to. Have you heard my voice notes like that?
No, it's for me. I do the same for myself.
Oh, okay.
I listen back, or even remember the other day at the park. Yeah, when I was talking to my daughter, she was like, "What? Really?" It's because I was slurring my words, and I was like,
"No, you weren't." I think. What did you? What were you saying to her? Like, let's go. Should we go home?
Something like that. But it wasn't slurring.
And then I ended up saying to her, "You're going home."
Yeah, you had to translate for me. So I was like, I mix. It's not like slur. It's like my brain goes into like shorthand mode, and I push words together. And yeah, I'm not very good at that. So, and that's also part of me talking too quickly.
Yeah. I have the same issue. So I think that's why for me scripting word for word works, and also practicing my tone and realizing that even when I speak slow, even though for me it sounds slow, it's actually a good pace. And so that was I received really good feedback from episode 250. So alhamdulillah, it seemed to have worked. So moving forward, any public speaking gigs, I'm definitely I think I'm gonna script word for word. Do you know what, bro? Actually, when you go unscripted, you tell yourself, "Oh, I can do unscripted because I'm confident with it," but actually it's laziness and it doesn't work. And I got some mentorship for public speaking before I did Light Upon Light, because I was like, I'm going to speak for 5,000 people. I'm going to speak about like 15,000 people, but in any one sitting, it's going to be as big as 5,000 people in front of me. And so I thought I need to get some professional mentorship for this. So I did that. And the key takeaways I got from there was what this guy recommended me was to have like key phrases memorized. So when you start, and also like tips that are like common that you hear regularly, like for example, humor always works really well. So like we were working on some like jokes together, and then also the fact that if you mess up, you've messed up, but the audience most of the time don't. So that's effective. And I also think that the best public speakers are the ones who sound natural, like they're not public speaking. You have like a public speaking presenter voice, and then you have your normal voice. I think the sickest public speakers are the ones who just sound like they're having a one-on-one with you, which is a really hard thing to achieve when you've got thousands of people in front of you. You automatically put on your like... And I think that's why podcasts are so good, because there's thousands of people watching a podcast, but because it's just you and I here looking at each other, we are talking like how we were talking in a private room.
Yeah. So the last time I did public speaking, it was at a conference in America, right? And I had to give a 20 to 30 minute, probably a 25-minute presentation with slides, which is a big help in and of themselves. Yeah. My tactic was bullet points, but also like not just bullet points to remind myself, but memorizing key phrases, like you said. So memorizing, okay, for this slide, I really want to say this sentence because it sounds good. I like the way that that sentence would sound when I'm saying it. So I kind of like my brain had the bullet points and it had this memorized phrase for that slide. So I knew in my mind I've got to work towards that phrase. That's like the ending phrase type of thing. And so from then I kind of maybe it is laziness, certainly want to put it past me. But for me, what I worried about with like memorizing every word, or every word. If I just forget one word, my brain will be scrambling. Like, oh, how did I start a sentence again? Was
Yeah.
it and or if? And then I'll be scrambling, and then it's just like, had I have not tried to memorize every word, I would have just said something. So that's where I would probably stop myself from memorizing word for word just out of like the anxiety of forgetting like an if or an and it throws me off. And then I end up sort of getting frazzled on the stage, even though I'm not nervous. I just forgot was it an and or a but. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm standing. But I also could just be very lazy.
So I think that's actually interesting that you say that. So I don't think that the way that I did it in most recently, which was completely scripted, is the best way to do public speaking. I just think it works for me. But I think I actually do think I do think that the following way is the best way, right? So I suppose this episode is going to be a public speaking episode. Now that we've done 20 minutes of public speaking, we might as well just like keep it on the topic. So because I think we could talk for like a whole hour on public speaking. So, okay, so well, first of all, I think there's a few good tips, right? Like, and this is what some of the tips that I got from my mentor and also like maybe through experience. So, definitely memorizing key phrases, remembering that jokes are very important because like laughter can really break the ice with the audience more than anything else can. So like scripting some jokes in advance. You don't have to be a stand-up comedian, but scripting some jokes in advance, making jokes like specific to the place or the people that you're speaking to is really good as well. So when I did Light Upon Light, after that I got that consultation, I went to Birmingham, and there was this road in Birmingham, I can't remember what it's called, I think maybe called like Ladypool Road or something, right? And then like it's known for like youngsters misbehaving. And so I suppose like when you have jokes, like a really cool way of doing a joke is like having an inside joke with the people that you're joking with, so they feel like they're kind of being let in on a secret, right? And so when I did Birmingham, I said something along the lines, when I first came, I was like, oh, there's a lot of youngsters here, that's good, like I'm glad you guys got away from Ladypool Road like for a bit or something like that. And everyone laughed because I think like that's where people go to misbehave. So it's like, oh, you're doing something better than being on Ladypool Road. It works in the environment. And then, so memorizing a few of those. Another joke that I came up with a mentor was something like, you have to do, when you're doing a big conference like Light Upon Light, you have to do like the safety regulations at the beginning as well. And that kind of like ruins, like, if you wanted to come on and like capture the audience, good luck doing that when the first thing you have to say is, guys, so when if in case of an emergency, the exit's out here, it just ruins it. And so we came up with a joke that was really cool where we were like, guys, just before the conference starts, I have to let you guys know of some of the health and safety regulations. In case, so the fire exits are like on my left-hand side. There's another fire exit on my right-hand side and fire exit at the back. But just to note, in case there is a fire, if you could all please remain seated and let me and Mufti Menk escape first, that would be appreciated. And everyone started laughing. So things like that, like mentorship is like really important because like you think they're all like based on experience that tell you things that like you didn't think of. So yeah, I memorized those banged, like they did really well. Okay, so that's like the first two tips. Another tip is like using your volume and pace. Like this is like probably the best tip ever. Even if you don't have any jokes, even if like you're, whatever, like using a pace and volume is the best thing you can do. So like now I've learned to go, and we were just about to do the 300th episode, and then I got a phone call from Sam saying that his flights got cancelled. And it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, so that works really well. And like your volume changes and your shift changes and like pausing and stuff like that. And like it captures people. So that's like really, really powerful.
Yeah.
I want to tell you like the memorization tip, but I want to wait for that to be the end thing. So there was one more tip before I go to memorization one. And that was, because I'm doing this, I'm spitballing here because we didn't actually prepare a public speaking episode.
We didn't, no. Although it sounds very rehearsed, mashallah.
This is a really good one. You mentioned PowerPoints. PowerPoints, this was it. So props / PowerPoint. So props work amazingly. Like if you see like some of the winners of public speaking competitions, like they'll walk out to a stage in silence. Like there's one guy, I think some Asian guy, he won a public speaking competition once, and they say his name, he walks out, he's in silence, and he goes into his pocket and he just pulls out a flower and he looks at the flower, and then he says something about the flower and he relates it to his talk, and like and then puts it back, and using those props, it does something where like people are interested, but also like you can keep referring back to it. So in episode 250, I did something like I said something at the beginning of the talk that was like something like it was some kind of like pizza. It was some kind of like pizza analogy, which was, I can't remember what it was, but it was like something about
everyone wants a slice of Faisal.
It's something like this, but like but people tell you that you can't do that and also like eat it or whatever. It was a good analogy at the time. I just can't remember what it was, right? And so at the end of the talk, when everything was done, there was like this box, but you couldn't tell what the box was. The whole time it was there on the stage. And right at the end of the talk, I was like, and I want to eat it too. And then I lifted the box and it was like a slice of pizza and I just took a bite, and that's how I ended my talk. So like props like work like that. And with regards to presentations, PowerPoint presentations are amazing, but there's two really important things that you need to know for a PowerPoint presentation. One is that you must have a clicker. You should control your presentation because timing is everything. You do not want someone in the back who hasn't even seen it, or even if they have seen it and rehearsed it once, twice, like you don't want them to control it. Like you're like, and then, the day before the event, and like it's going to show like the office has been broken into, like the smashed up office in the back. It's like the day before the event, and then you just wait, you're going now or so it just doesn't work. So you have to be the one who like presses it. So that's really important, and ideally you have in front of you on a screen somewhere at the bottom what's behind you, but you want to have a clicker. Like if you don't have a clicker, if you're going to a public speaking event and you don't know if they have a clicker or not, like bring your own. Like I have 2 clickers and I'll take them with me everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but like if I'm going to an event, right? I actually do take them with me everywhere, but so that's why I said that. But that's not because I just like I'm prepared to do a talk.
Just in case I ask you to do a public talk.
It's because the bag that I take with me everywhere, like my clicker just lives in the pocket of that bag.
It's got a clicker built in, yeah.
Yeah, I do technically have a clicker like everywhere I go. Or in my old bag at least. Okay, so that was all my tips, like in terms of like the humor and the preparation. This I think is the best technique that I'm about to say about how to memorize your script. So I believe, so this was again, this same mentor gave me this technique, but this mentor gave me this technique for like a different purpose, but it works like for this as well. So I would say write your whole script word for word, and then get those A5 revision cards, the cut that you get from WH Smith. You get a pack of those, and your whole speech, let's say it's on a Word document, yeah, and it's like one whole A4 piece of paper on a Word document. What you want to do is you want to separate it into separate paragraphs. So on that A4 document, there's now 5 paragraphs. So your talk split into 5 paragraphs. So you want to get 5 revision cards, and you want to like draw in your own way diagrams that diagrams that like basically draw out that paragraph. So bro, a paragraph is like what, 4 lines, 5 lines, so a whole A5 thing. So let's say for example the paragraph is like how to pick the England squad, right, for the World Cup. Yeah, like you choose the players that like have been on form, the ones that aren't injured and stuff like that. So then that's the paragraphs, 5 lines, like ones who are injured. So you'd have like a revision card, and it would say best players. Like how to pick, and then like it'd be a diagram. It splits into 2, so it'd be like injury, so no injury, and then like here it would say like good form, and then like whatever like that. So it just draws out, it maps out like where you're going, but it's not bullet points. So what it is that. And then so you do that for every paragraph. So now you've got 5 cards that are kind of drawn out. So why? Because humans are visual learners. So it's very hard to look at a paragraph or 5 lines and memorize word for word. But it's very easy to look, how did I draw? So you want to draw them differently, obviously. How did I draw that one? So what this mentor told me is like, use equal signs, use arrows, use different colors, use different symbols, different types of graphs and stuff like that. This worked really effectively, bro. So I actually used this technique for my university finals, and my university finals were my best results out of all of my results because I changed my technique, alhamdulillah, to this technique. But it was a written degree, so like, you can kind of like guess what, like there's only certain types of questions that they can ask. If you write an essay on all of them, you can memorize your essays like in this way. So that's what I did. So you do these cards and you memorize the graphics, and then when you first start revising, you want to read the whole paragraph and you want to read the card and read the whole paragraph. Then you want to start just basing it off the cards, and then you got 2 options on the day of the event. You either have the cards with you, like on the podium or in your hands, but you're not going to keep looking at them because it's just a diagram. It's not like written out. Or if you're like really brave and you're really prepared, you won't even need the cards because you would have memorized diagrams. But I would say have the cards with you because you can get stage nerves. It's just like you look at it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, like injury or good form. So I think that's the best technique to memorize anything really. Well, like for speech.
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you said, man. And my one tip will be based on my story that I have with public speaking, and it's probably the most embarrassing, or up there with some of my most embarrassing moments, right? So basically, my older brother.
Another gig?
It was my older brother's engagement or wedding, right?
Oh.
Best man speech, right? So the engagement is a smaller affair. Still a lot of people there. It must have been like 100 people there or something. He asked me to do a speech, right? I got up, 6 speech. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was a 6 speech. I had the paper in front of me, so it wasn't from memory. It was like bullet points, right? It was alhamdulillah, it was good. It was a good speech. Yeah, people liked it. I left the event feeling good.
Yeah, you
right?
do after a good speech. Yeah,
alhamdulillah. A year later or thereabouts, it was the wedding and time to give a speech again. Because of my confidence boost, from that first sort of public speaking event, I was like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I'll do a little bit of work on it. I'll do the same thing, bullet points on the paper. A day before, I'll go over it, make sure it's all good. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, cool. And I said, tell myself, my confidence is the best way I can go into with this. Right? If I'm confident, worst case, I just shrug off a mistake here and there. It's fine. And to an extent, that's true. But my mistake was, I wrote it down, I bullet pointed it, but instead of having it out in my hands, I did the speech, folded up the paper, put it in my pocket because I thought I'm fine.
No. Yeah,
it's in my pocket now.
Yeah.
Had it been in my hand, bro, so I got there, I'm doing the speech. First minute goes okay, then I forget my next line, the sort of pivot. I've forgotten it, right? So I'm standing there, and now there's probably close to 300 people, and I'm like, it's on the paper, but it's in my pocket. So I'm having to sort of stop now and get it out of my pocket, and it's almost like a little bit of a groan. Like obviously when people were like almost like this family, they want to kind of give you a hard time anyway.
And is that the awkward silence?
Yeah, the awkward silence. Let me reach my pocket and unfold the paper now. So my tip here is, don't be like me. Be overconfident, have it in your pocket or anything like that, and you got to unfold it when you need it. Just have it in front of you. If you don't need it, great. If you do need it, it's there. Nobody commented on the fact that I had it out in that first speech where I did well. Nobody even realized I had something in front of me. You feel yourself that maybe, it looks a bit unprofessional or it looks not so good, but the fact that it was there, it can save you if you do slip up. And yeah, the overconfidence. I mean, it sounds like you went the other way, and I definitely learned from my lesson because my sort of speech in America was after that. I learned my lesson there to have everything in front of me.
How did that go?
Alhamdulillah, it went really well. I did what you did. So in the hotel the night before, I was only there for 3 days, literally just for this event. So hotel the night before, I recorded myself. So I actually set it all up on how I did it on my laptop. I had my laptops and my PowerPoints on the laptop, and I had it all written out. I wrote it out as well by hand, not word for word, but bullet points. And I just recorded myself, and I sort of did the presentation to the recording, and I watched it back, to critique it and stuff like that. Alhamdulillah, it went well, man. I didn't feel nervous. It went well, and I think the PowerPoints definitely helped because they give you cues. I worked in a joke in there as well. One of the slides had like a funny, like an animal doing something like silly, but in context, and it allowed me to sort of, to be honest, jokes are good for the audience. They're also good for the speaker because, like, for me, I use humor as like a coping mechanism. So if I do feel a bit nervous, I actually look forward to telling the jokes. It's like, oh, cool, I can
Oh,
actually
that's
get
good.
back to my comfort zone a little bit. So yeah, alhamdulillah, it went well. The client was happy. My only regret is I didn't record it. I recorded myself in my hotel room saying it. I didn't actually record, and they didn't record either. I thought they may do, but they didn't.
Oh no.
So I would have liked to have gone back and like critiqued it and learned from it. But yeah, alhamdulillah, they were happy, so it's all good.
I think I struggle to look back on weirdly like my stuff. So I commend you on recording yourself and like looking back on it, because I would just cringe looking at my stuff. And if I have seen myself do public speaking, I'm like, gosh, you're awful. Like how,
Yeah.
yeah, just like it's really bad. So
Well, I kind of had to do it because there was no like I think I sent it to my wife as well, so she could see and say, oh, this is not so good, this is not so good. But to be honest, at that point, I was confident that I had it memorized. I wasn't thinking about like missing a line because again the slides I was pretty much almost reading off the slides to a point. Like the bullet points are on the slide, so worst case scenario I can look at the slide and it's fine. But I was more worried about my am I talking too quickly? I had to make it, stretch it, quote unquote, to like 30 minutes, right? So I couldn't. I know sometimes I'll jump on a call with a client and I'll be speaking like a million miles an hour, and even a couple of times the client said, "Hey, like, are you? Do you have somewhere to be? You're just talking so fast." And I was like, and I've got to like, wow. And sometimes I'm talking on a call, bro, and I'm catching my breath. And it's
I
like,
do
why are
that.
you
You're
talking?
so similar. I do that as well. Like
Why
I
am I?
had,
And I'm
I
like,
had,
why?
I had once someone say to me on a call something like, I was like, this is the most embarrassing. They said something like, okay, yeah, well, like we get we get the idea of like this bit, like we can move on. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I've spoken too
Yeah, I
much
hate that.
about this. Like,
That's just rude. I think that's just rude though. Like I think it was a little bit rude, but like, but yeah, I've been in similar situations where I'm talking too much or I repeat myself. So I'll
I
talk,
repeat myself a lot as well.
I'll explain it. Maybe. See, the thing, I say I don't get nervous, but I think my nerves show in different ways. And if I'm repeating
Yeah,
myself or I'm talking too quickly, that
too
is my
quickly.
way of
Yeah,
showing nerves. Yeah. So other people say, oh, I'm nervous, like my heart is racing, or my fingers are, I'm sweating. I don't get nervous in that sense, but you can see my nervousness in other behaviors. And I think like speaking too fast.
yeah. I know people who get when they get nervous, their palms get sweaty, which is
I
normal,
think,
isn't it? But like, that
yeah,
doesn't happen to me either. I do things. I'm
I'm trying
like
to
you. I
remember.
like speak too fast, or do you know what? What else? When I'm nervous,
Mm,
I can't hide it from my face. I've spoken to that this before on Fresh Guide. Like my mouth starts quivering. I'm like, it's so
really?
bad. Yeah. So I can't hide it at all. Like so, like the solution to it is just to like never get like be so confident that like
We're only human, man. Just for me, again, it links. We were talking about anxiety before. When we talk about anxiety, we spoke about on like the Q&A on the vlog. We spoke about it a little bit. And
oh yeah.
Sam's advice was perfect, man. Just do dhikr, man. Just remember Allah. Uh, for me, I've learned that if I'm feeling nervous, anxious, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, that really calms you down. You remind yourself that Allah is in control of everything. It's
Yeah.
just like it's not even like, oh, have confidence in yourself, Kaya, because sometimes it's not. I'm not enough to have confidence in myself. No. Just
Kai,
rely on
you
Allah.
are. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
you know what I mean. So that really helps me. Yeah, we're just human, man. Sometimes I get nervous in the most weird situations, or
Mm.
sometimes what's happened in the past is that someone I know has been nervous in a situation, and because they keep talking about it, the next time I'm in a situation, I start to get nervous,
Oh
just
no,
because.
this
Yeah,
rubbed
just
off on you. You got secondhand
yeah.
nerves. Oh
There you go.
no.
That's it. Is it? Yeah. That passive smoking, passive anxiety.
Yeah, passive
So
anxiety. Oh no.
yeah, so that's happened, man. And yeah, you've got to when it first starts creeping in. I used to have anxiety like worse when I was younger, and when it starts creeping in, like those first like couple of events where it happens, like that's the battle, man. You got to win that
Mm.
battle. Those first couple of battles, otherwise it sticks and it becomes a phobia and it becomes worse and worse and worse. So yeah, dhikr is the most powerful tool in that situation.
I think for like my next time I do public speaking, which I don't know when it's going to be because I'm not doing light upon light this year, I want to use a prop. I want to like start with a prop and
What you got in
see
mind?
like
The flower
yeah,
situation, getting the flower out of the pocket.
maybe the flower in the pocket is good. That's too famous now. Like this guy like
Yeah, I have heard of that.
won
Now that you
public
say it,
speaking
I've heard of that
championships.
before.
Yeah, it had to be
I
something
didn't know
like
there was
unique.
publicly.
Like I entered a public speaking competition. That's how I got into public speaking. You know that? That's my first public
Really?
speaking was in a competition. Yeah.
I know that it even existed.
My school put me in it in like year 9. So
I knew there was debating things. I don't know there was public speaking
yeah.
ones. That's
How
interesting. Did you ever do
ridiculous is that?
debates?
There's like debating clubs.
That makes more sense. That makes more sense to me. There's debating clubs because it kind of teaches you public speaking as well as critical
Yeah,
thinking.
maybe. Yeah, I guess we
Uh,
used to have debates in school.
both.
Yeah.
They're both good, man. They're both good. Yeah. In a way, I'm glad public speaking competitions exist. I think I might even YouTube it later and see like who the world
Do you
champion
know what?
is.
It's quite addictive. Like you start watching them, you think, wow, that guy's good at it, man. Like they speak
Yeah.
clearly, and you got to be a bit of a nerd to like be in public speaking competitions. Though, so I am probably a nerd. Who's
It's
cool
interesting,
that is
isn't
in
it?
public speaking competitions? Like I flopped mine anyway. I got to like the finals of my borough, and then I like broke down crying on the stage.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Are you prepared to tell us that story? You're not.
I've told it so many times. I told it at live events, but like, yeah, like I was nervous because my dad was watching, and like I get nervous when my dad's watching, and so my dad was like on the stage,
Yeah.
and I'll tell this story because it's funny, but I've told it
Yeah.
loads of times before, so people would have heard it on if they came to live events. But yeah, we had to do public speaking, and I was in year 9, and I passed. Like I got through, like I won in my school, and so I got to the finals of the borough, and then whoever wins that represents the whole borough in front against the other boroughs in the UK. Right. So I got to so I was in the finals of the borough. So it's like now I'm going against people who I've never met, like the other public speakers in other schools, who won their school like competitions and stuff. And some of them, I think there's 2 things that made me nervous. The majority of it, like 80% of the nerves came from the fact that my dad was there. And so that made me super nervous. My dad like dropped me there. And I was like year 9. So, which is quite old to cry on stage actually, but I did. Maybe I was year 8. Let's say I'm year 8. So one thing was that my dad was there, which was 80% of it. I was nervous. The other 20% was that I was seeing these other kids who like got into it, and they were like, I was not like them. Like even when I'm public speaking, I'm not like eccentric. Do you know what I mean? Bro, there was this guy who was like either on before me or like next to me. I saw him rehearsing, bro. And I mean, he's a bit suspect. He was like, he was like, what? He was, bro, he was so confident. He's our age. I was like, I can't match that level of confidence. Like, I can't even do it now. Like, I'm on podcast I've done 300 episodes of, and I can't even imitate it. But like, I think like it's nighttime. I'm not in the mood. But like, he was like, let's say I can't remember. If we just say random topic.
iPhone.
The iPhone. So let's say his talk was about iPhones. Yeah, he's like. And then they came out with the iPhone 13, and like that were like all loud and big, and I was like, that made me know. I was like, whoa, I don't have that kind of energy. So, like just super like a poet almost, like just big, and it's like this was his thing. Like he like lived his whole life like. Maybe he's like a weird, like he was classed as like an outsider and a weirdo in like all types of society, in all like forms of like, he was never like maybe like in the football squad, and like, so like this was like his thing, and that made me nervous, man. I was like, well, this guy's like smashing, like this particular thing is smashing. So I think he was on before me, and so anyway, my talk was about why Muslims. It was called like why Muslims are not terrorists. It was like a heavy topic to do when you're like 14 or something, 13. And so I started my talk by saying, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the beneficent, or something like this. And then I basically started crying after. All I could see is like a whole assembly hall full of people, but all I could see is my dad at the back just watching me, and it just made me nervous. I was like, and I got nervous, and then one thing leads to another, and, and then like I just couldn't even finish it. They were like, "Oh, are you okay? Like it's okay, come off." I was so embarrassing. Man. So then. Bro, so then we went back to the car. We went back here. And you can laugh about it now. It was like 15 years ago, like 20 years ago. So
I was trying not to laugh.
No. I've laughed. Bro, I spoke about it on stage at the Aldwych Theatre, like in front of my dad. So I've conquered the fear of speaking in front of my dad, because my dad came to the Aldwych Theatre when I was speaking, and I told this story in front of him. And so anyway, so then I was crying and stuff. And then I went back to I think I was telling the audience, like I was nervous because like my dad's like, you know, he maybe hard to impress, right? Like he's a serious guy. And I know you know what it's like. Your dad's Turkish, right? So is your dad Turkish or is he Cypriot?
He is, yeah. Turkish Cypriot, yeah.
Oh, fine. So then,
Sorry.
no, I thought maybe your dad was Turkish and your mum was Cypriot, but like, what, they're both Turkish Cypriot? That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, anyway, so that's like a whole culture.
Yeah, man. That's my culture, mate. Yeah.
Well, so that exists.
To a point, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so then I went back to the car. So this is like the end of the story. So, I haven't seen my dad yet. It's the end of the event now. And then I'm walking back to the car and my dad's sitting in the car already. And I open the door and I sit in the car and he looks at me. It's the first time I've seen my dad since like I've broken down crying. He looks at me and he goes, "Son." He goes, "Son, you didn't even translate Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim correctly." And I was like, "What?" I was like, I just burst out crying on stage, like, give me some sympathy, man. Like, it was hilarious, bro. So that was my first, like, real, like, public speaking. So I don't know how I came back from that.
Yeah,
but,
bro, mashallah. Barak.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
That's fantastic. I mean, the sun and the pause bit made it, but yeah.
Yeah, like
amazing.
it was just like I was like expecting like don't worry, like.
Yeah.
So, alhamdulillah, it's tough.
I'll tell you. That's reminded me of a story of myself, embarrassing in front of my dad. It was sports day. I think it was year 6. Yeah, it must have been at most year 6, maybe year 5, year 6. So we're doing relay. I was actually like relatively fast when I was a kid. Doing relay race, and I was like,
what position were you in the relay race? Because that will tell us if you're fast or not.
Last position. I was in last position.
Oh, okay. So you're fast. You were the fastest on the team.
I was a little fast guy. So I didn't know if my dad was coming or not. My parents coming, I just didn't know. And I when the race started, I didn't know if they were in a crowd. There was a crowd. So
isn't that the worst when you don't know? I'm gonna always turn up to Zachary stuff if I can, because like the feeling of like being like, oh, is my dad here or is my mom here? Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna turn up early, bro. Like, I'm gonna be like,
yeah,
Zachary, I'm here.
Yeah. May Allah give us the ability to do that, because again, like not a lot of parents they just can't do it.
Of course.
So so the race has started. I'm feeling good. Guys coming to me with my thing. We're in the race still, so like it's on me to win it. It's quite tight though. Like everyone's kind of coming like at the same time. He's giving me the baton. I've turned around, bro. I think I took a step before I fell.
No.
I think not even one step. Maybe I've taken a step. Just I don't even know how. I don't think it was my laces. I just fell. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I've fallen over. They've gone. Obviously, there's no point. Yeah. But I picked my head up. The first one I see is my dad in the crowd.
Oh no, that's so embarrassing.
The first thing I see, and he gives me like a compassionate smile, but it's just like, man, just like, I had to get up and just like run to the end, but we come in dead last because of that.
Oh, you had to.
So that was, yeah. I mean, I had to do it for the culture, Turkish Cypriot culture. But yeah, that was tough.
I used to do relay as well. I was like, I wasn't. No, I was like first, I think, which is like the second fastest.
Oh, is it? I don't even know. I
think the person who's fourth is the fastest. The person who's first is the second fastest, and then like the other two. I think something like that.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
But
that would make sense.
Yeah, I that's the only. Do you know what's really weird, bro? Because I'm not really sporty at all anymore. And when I was in primary school, I won. Okay, so there's 2 awards I've won, right? In my school thing. I'm interested to know what awards you won. So in primary school, we were given awards, and I won the award at year 6. Like when you're leaving, I was given the award for the sports award, like the sportiest person award.
Okay.
Did you win any awards in primary school?
I don't. You know what? I actually don't think I won any awards at any schooling institution.
Oh, that's really sad.
Ever.
Oh no,
which is very.
No, you're not a loser. You're not a loser.
No, you know what it was, yeah? I was always like...
No, you're not a loser.
I was always... No, I was always up there, but never like the top like 1, 2 or 3. But I was like... I was the loser of the not so bad.
No, you're not a loser.
No, you don't think so?
No, that's okay. No, but bro, look, Allahumma barik. Who's laughing now?
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
alhamdulillah. I'm not sure anyone's laughing.
Who got the last laugh? Mr. Kaya living in Dubai, Allahumma barik.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, so I won the sports award in primary school, so that was nice, and it was a surprise. Like, we all thought this other guy called Lee would win it. So everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Lee's won sports thing." And so like, it wasn't even like a competition. Like everyone's like, "Yeah, this guy's like the fastest guy. He's in the A team for football." I think like I got demoted to the B team, and but the difference between me and Lee was that I took part in all the sports. Right, so I was in football, I was in rounders, I was in cricket. Like I don't know why. I think because my house was opposite the school, and so like, you know, I never had to be like, my mum didn't have to like pick me up, my dad didn't have to pick me up. It was like I could just stay for having a while, just cross the road and I'm home. So I would just take part in everything. So anyway, everyone knew Lee was going to win this award, and so we're in the year 6 end of school leavers assembly, and they're like, and the sports personality award goes to, and was like, Lee, and they're like, Faisal Chowdhury, and I was like, and you see on our face, I'm like. And I walked over the stage, I was like,
Lee couldn't believe it, man.
He actually couldn't believe it. He was actually really upset.
Lee's like,
yeah, like, because he even thought like he's won it.
These Chowdhuries coming to our country, taking our awards.
And then the award I won in high school, when we were leaving high school, this wasn't an award. This, you know, in the yearbook they write like most likely to.
Oh yeah.
What did you get? Most likely to what?
Those ones that don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Oh, don't know. I can't remember. I don't think I'm lying when I say this. I don't think we even had that section.
It means a lot to me.
I could be saying that just because I was in none of those sections and therefore I don't remember it.
So I got most likely to be a millionaire.
I was most likely to be forgotten, probably.
No, I got most likely to be a millionaire, and that hasn't happened. So,
inshallah.
You never know. What a reminiscent episode.
It was, isn't it? It was quite. I mean, befittingly nostalgic. As this will be 301, right? So
yeah, this will be 301. Yeah,
300 and 301 would be nostalgia central, man.
I thought, because it's just me and you, we'd end up doing like a podcast that was about like an ideas lab, which we can do next time.
Well, I would like. I've got a couple of questions for you that are just like totally off the cuff that I thought about. If you want, they're fun. They're fun questions. They're not like serious questions.
Fine. Let's bang them out before we finish the episode.
All right. We kind of did the first one was the most embarrassing moment. Maybe you covered that.
Fine. Okay.
You covered that, yeah.
Yeah. That was by far like my most embarrassing. Yeah. I have another one, but I've given one.
All right. My second sort of fun question is, what animal do you think you could beat in a fight that you like would? Yeah, we're confident to beat that animal fight, but it's a big animal. It's like a tough animal.
I wouldn't beat any animal in a fight.
No, you would.
Like, I'm confident. No, I wouldn't beat any animal in a fight. I'm so confident. Hold on,
let me think of an animal that I think you could beat. Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be impossible. Like you don't know me. I could not beat an animal in a fight.
I mean, I've spent enough time around you. I know if you need to switch it on, you switch it on. Hold on, let me think.
I would not beat any animal.
I think. All right.
I wouldn't even eat like a little monkey. No animal. I'd be.
Bro, monkeys are mad like strong. Like people think, little monkey, but I wouldn't fight a monkey. I wouldn't want to fight a monkey. I think you'd probably beat. Bro, if you had to do it, I think you would be able to beat like a medium-sized dog. Medium size.
No, I disagree.
Or a cat, like a large house cat, which is not easy.
It would beat me up fully.
No, bro. Think about it. If you're like, it's life or death. Like you're in a room. It's like either that dies or you die. You would be able to take a cat.
I think of the animal rights people who are against. What are
totally
you? What animal could you take? So on a scale of cat to bear, I'm cat.
No, so, bear. Bear. Forget about it. No one's taking a bear, man. Bear,
I think you could take a shark. Do you know what, bro? I think that along better. You have this level of confidence that comes out like when you need to, and so I think like in that situation, you would take a shark.
Bro, you could be as confident as you want, mate. If you fight against a shark, I don't think I'm coming out on top of that.
Remember what Tim Humble said about like he could take a shark.
But you need a little stick. He said you need a little stick to knock his nose.
Yeah, just knock it in his nose. Yeah.
Bro, would you ever do that? Would you ever swim with sharks? Like it like not in a cage, but like face to face.
Do you know what, bro? Like I'm just not strong with water, which is bad. I need to get better. Like there's certain skills in life that I know that I need to just like focus on. I think that water is one of them. I need to become like a really good swimmer, just because that's an important life skill. And
take water out of it though. Take water out of it.
Out of swimming. Okay, fine. Swim with sharks.
The shark situation.
Okay, yeah. What say if I was confident in water like that? I probably wouldn't choose to know.
Yeah, I don't think I'll do that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is. Yeah, when I think things like that, I think to myself like, if it does go wrong, it's just like I wouldn't be able to look back at that with like any sort of like, well, you took your precautions. Da, da, da. Because it's like, bro, you got into the sea of sharks, like,
So yeah, some things
you
just
know,
aren't worth it. It's like, what's the
yeah,
pros and the pros and the cons? I think about roller coasters like that. Like, yeah, I've done roller
yeah.
coasters before. Do you remember Thought Park Stealth? Do you remember Stealth? It
I
goes
didn't
like
go on it.
really high
Yeah,
and it just dips. I done that and stuff. But like, I'm not anti roller coasters. I'm not pro roller coasters. Like in terms of like I'm never like, oh, I really want to go on a roller coaster. But at the same time, I like, if I was peer pressured enough, I would go on one. So
yeah.
like, I'm kind of neither here nor there. Oh, how funny is this? Honestly is joining at the end of the call. Bro, are we given the wrong time?
Are we? Surely not. Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Sorry to
Assalamu
drop
alaikum,
in
bro.
unannounced.
Yeah,
That's all
we're
right.
finishing the pod.
Yeah, I imagine you might be, but I
Yeah,
thought,
we thought you got the wrong
I thought I
time.
should face,
Oh, okay. Well, we've got.
I'm really sorry.
No. It's lovely.
fine, bro.
It's
Glad
always
you're here,
amazing to see your
man.
face. How funny is that?
I was just, I just got a bit
So
delayed,
we'll
man.
just, I'll
A
put
bit
you into
delayed,
context. We're just
52
talking
minutes.
about-
But you're 62 minutes delayed
a-
out of a 60-minute podcast.
Is it?
Yeah,
One quick question, only.
I'm here though.
Yeah,
You are
alhamdulillah, you're
here.
here. That's what's important.
What? Only just bring you in on this. Yeah. What's an animal you think you could beat in a fight? If you
Ask
had,
him the
like,
next.
life or
Ask him the next one. Only will take anything in a fight.
A
Ask him the
monkey.
next one.
A monkey, bro.
No, you wouldn't
A
take a
monkey.
monkey.
Okay.
That's a big shout. That's a big shout. All right, fine. Would you swim
What
with
did you
sharks? Is
choose?
the next question.
I said I wouldn't be able to be
No,
anything, but
wouldn't.
Kaya thinks I could take a
I
cat, but I can't.
Yeah, you can take a cat.
No, you can take a cat, bro. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next question.
One that's tied up or something, maybe.
No, you take a cat.
Only knows I wouldn't be like any animal. What's the next question?
Next question is only would you swim with sharks like face to face?
Protected in a cage?
No.
Nah, I don't think I would, bro.
Okay,
Sorry.
only.
I just don't think so, man. It's too vulnerable, man.
Yeah.
Only swim
And I
with.
don't know the shark. As in, I don't know those animals. I don't know them. I haven't been. I don't know.
I mean, when there's no protective barrier between me and the shark, I may hurt the shark. You gotta think about it.
Yeah.
I've got a serious question for you. Okay, would you rather swim with sharks in the manner that Kaya just explained, or have a tarantula on your hand?
Swim with sharks, bro. Anything.
Really?
Only
Give
has
me
like
the sharks,
serious
bro.
arachnophobia.
No, I don't. But I don't like spiders. It's
Yeah, that's
not serious
arachnophobia, bro.
Arachnophobia.
I know
Yeah.
what arachnophobia is, but it's not severe to the point you're describing. But
Fine.
yeah, I'll take the
You'd
sharks,
rather
bro.
swim with sharks.
Sharks
over
are
that
like
way, fine.
fun.
Yeah. Right,
Fine.
okay.
It's not too severe then.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
too severe.
Nah.
Like, put me in a sea full of sharks any day. But yeah. Okay.
Well, even if it was a non-venomous spider, like even if it
Nah,
did bite
it's not to do with venom, man. Like I don't not to say I don't mind the venom. I just don't like their look. It's the look, but they have
Yeah.
bare eyes and stuff, and like I don't know. The small ones are fine. I just don't like the big ones.
I mean, that's fair. Like, that's a very like common fear. Like, it's not really that
Yeah.
surprising.
Fine.
What other questions did you have, Kaya?
The other one was just this is kind of a long one. It'll be for a podcast. Like, what was your first entrepreneurial venture? Or maybe we could do it now if you wanted to.
Very interesting.
Very first
Yeah,
thing.
that's interesting.
I'll give my one. The lot thing. Mine was I think it was my first. It was selling online e-commerce store selling solar gadgets. It's like solar phone,
Really?
yeah, like little tablets and solar chargers. Yeah,
How did that go?
flopped horribly.
Really?
Yeah, I made one sale, and that person scammed me by. I sent in the stuff, and then they did a PayPal, like whatever it was, like back trace, whatever. Yeah, really cool. Even though I had evidence from Royal Mail that they received it, they signed.
Oh, that's
it
happened to me.
Yeah, I think you said
no.
this once before, and yeah, and after that, I just shut it down. I was like, oh, cool, that's me.
Bro, that happened to me with Zaha for like £16,000 or £6,000, like something big,
Yeah, he said-
like
he said,
between 6 and 16,000.
Yeah, I think you remember.
You'd think you'd remember a number that large.
Bro, I submitted, because obviously we were doing things properly. So it was so many years ago, I submitted a PDF that I put together with every single receipt, tracking and proof of delivery, and they still didn't like.
Was it PayPal?
No, it was. another very popular payment gateway that I'm
Right.
actually no longer allowed to use.
We can scratch
that reason.
PayPal out of that. But yeah, basically they just took the side of the buyer, even though I had
Same,
the
yeah.
evidence. Which is like, yeah, what's the point?
My first business venture was selling MySpace layouts.
Really?
Nice.
I'm trying to think, but I can't think of anything small. I think my genuine answer
Big moves
would be
only.
Zaha Grill. It's probably Zaha Grill, bro.
What was your first business venture? I set up a restaurant in central London.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably
Like, you know, as
it
you
wasn't
do.
just me. It was my brother predominantly, but together it was our first venture, man.
Only, bro, you have to come out here, man. Like, bro, they're setting up this thing in my area. It's sick, yeah.
What
It's
is
you haven't seen it, have you?
No.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. No, joking. Bro, honestly, it's sick, bro, yeah. It's a food truck park. So it's just a park with like loads of food trucks and you
Nice.
drive through it. So I drive through food truck. Bro, Zaha would kill it, bro, there. You have to come visit, man. You have to come visit.
Bro, get us a spot, bro. Dubai is really high in the considerations for Zaha. You know that.
Really?
Yeah, but you have to come.
Bro,
Why don't you just come check it
Yeah.
out, bro? Like, when you just fly over. Obviously,
Yeah.
now it's tough because of World Cup.
Yeah.
So, like, flights are quite difficult and stuff.
Flights are so difficult right now, bro. It's really annoying. I was trying to fly somewhere, but my flights got cancelled.
Really? They got cancelled? That one that you told me about?
Yeah.
Qadar Allahu ma sha fa'al.
Because it was like a transit one, and then they changed the second flight that it would leave before I land for my first one. So it's like,
Did you
and
get
then
your money
they're
back?
so annoying, man. No, because then they say, oh, you can apply for the refund, and we'll try to get your money back, but we can't guarantee all of it, and it's going to take 3 months minimum
Wow.
or something like that. Yeah, so dumb, man. It's really, really annoying. It's very frustrating.
So what's the alternative? Like, do they just give you, like...
No, so what I did,
voucher?
I didn't go through that. Luckily, for some reason, I ended up paying through PayPal, and I've heard that PayPal's service is quite good.
Yeah, don't just
So-
get you right back away. Don't worry.
So what I did was, rather than apply it through the service provider, I went through PayPal. I said, "This will happen," and you know that they're not giving me money back, kind of thing. They're saying X, Y, and Z. It's going to be 3 months, whatever. So I kind of applied through them. So I'm hoping that PayPal gives me the money back, and then PayPal gets the money back from them, which should probably work out better. But I'm
I
still
really
waiting.
doubt it. Sorry, what?
Yeah,
That is
I-
a-
I don't. I think PayPal may just like slap you 10 grand. Be like, yeah, sorry about that.
Bro, you know, recently
missing
Pay-
10 grand.
PayPal was dying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They have it stored somewhere. Yeah, there's recently there's been an issue with PayPal. I saw about it on Twitter, but I can't remember specifically what it was. The World Cup
Yeah.
started today. Have you guys seen like some of the stuff that Qatar is doing around the World Cup stuff? Apparently, around 588 people have become Muslim already due to the da'wah efforts in Qatar, and they haven't. The World Cup just started. Like they've smashed it. Like they've got a hadith apparently quoted around the country, and they like a hadith that like relates specifically to like character and like, you know, da'wah kind of stuff. Apparently they've called in like some of the best mu'adhins in the world to call the adhans to like, you know,
really?
appeal to the non-Muslims, and they've
Back.
yeah, like loads of things. So yeah, Allahumma barik, man. Like it's like in some ways like the world's biggest da'wah event, the World Cup.
Yeah,
so
man.
yeah.
It's a great opportunity, Dawah. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I can imagine all the challenges involved as well. So like, you know,
Yeah.
it's
There's definitely,
alhamdulillah,
and there's
like-
definitely. I mean, yeah, we won't go too deep into the whole thing, but there's definitely challenges and double
yeah,
standards.
but bro, look, the da'wah, that's amazing. Like to think about like putting quotes of ahadith and really trying to, and apparently they've got people specializing in da'wah. They've trained like they've got like da'is, like people who are trained to specifically give da'wah to tourists. Like they've like put them out in tourist spots and stuff. Apparently, this is what stuff I'm reading. So none of this is verified, but like it sounds amazing. So yeah,
Alhamdulillah.
how's things on Lee? How's
Why don't you go there, bro? It's just down the road for you, practically.
It's mad expensive, bro, to go there, and you got the tickets are like you have to like win the tickets, is it? How does it work?
I think you have to have like a specific, like you can't just book a flight and go. You have to have, I believe, I might be wrong here, but you have to have some kind of like, maybe like proof of a ticket or like,
Yeah.
my brother-in-law technically has 2 tickets. And so, he's actually going to like England versus Wales, and he's also going to like semi-finals.
Really?
Yeah, he's like obsessed with football, so he's going to, and he's actually got 2 tickets for all of these events, and or for some of them anyway. And his wife is just, you know, she probably couldn't really care less about football, but she's going with him. So like, it wouldn't when I say it wouldn't be impossible to go, like I could, if I wanted to be a bit of a inconvenience, I could very easily go to like England versus, I could just say, look, you know, your missus obviously doesn't want to go, like she's not gonna care if like I take the ticket, and he'd probably be like, you know what, yeah, fine, but first of all, I'll be ruining. Oh yeah, that's like not nice. And second of all,
ruining a family trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, of a lifetime. Yeah, but secondly, like I'm not like, you know, I'm fine. You know, with live sport events, yeah. I've been to live sport events and I can appreciate them, but it's such a better view by watching it on telly. Like the levels of how better your view is on telly is insane.
Yeah.
Like you can have the best seat in the house in the stadium, but on telly you don't get the close-ups of the cameras. Like it's impossible, right?
Yeah, it's true. When we were younger, my dad had 2 season tickets to Arsenal, right? And so every game week, we would take it in turns, like me, my older brother, younger brother, to go with my dad, right? So, but after like the first year, we were like, the TV is kind of like 10 times better, isn't it? Everyone's like, it actually is. So we just literally kind of, I was like, bro, the TV is actually just better.
But do you know, people have been asking me, like, but in Dubai, honestly, they're doing like, but obviously, so because the World Cup's happening in Qatar, what's amazing about it is that all of the Arab countries have kind of got behind it, and so there's 2 great things about it. One, loads of tourists are coming to all of the Arab countries because like Qatar is getting full, so like they're flying in. And secondly, even if you like the Qatar, I don't know what it's called, like Prime Minister or President or something, like, you know, said like, you know, welcome on behalf of all of the Arab countries and stuff like that. So like they're kind of making it a big thing in the GCC, and so Dubai is doing a lot of things. Like they're putting on like all of these like big like the cinemas, they're airing every World Cup match. You know that kind of Vox Cinemas airing every match, and like they've created all these like massive hotspots for like they're building so fast out here. So like building like entire like fan zones and stuff. And so people were saying to me like, oh, where are you watching like the World Cup matches? And I'm like, I'm really looking forward to watching them on my own in my room, like kids asleep. I just enjoy it. Like the one thing I enjoy is just doing by myself, like just watching. I think of nothing better than just watching the England matches by myself.
Bro, isn't it meant to start today? Has the game already
started? It started today.
The first game's already over.
What was the score?
Ecuador won 2-0 against Qatar.
Tomorrow's England versus Iran.
Bro, speaking of Qatar, I saw this thing on Instagram. I don't know much about it, Faisal, so you need to tell me. Bro, with Omar, what is that?
Yeah, so
Omar's and stuff, ain't it?
Yeah,
I have no idea. I have no context.
There's this building or like monument or something in Qatar called the Torch, which is like the tallest building. I might be wrong with this information, but someone said to me it's like one of the tallest buildings in Qatar or something like that. I don't know. So basically, someone got in touch with me really recently, like literally like a week ago, and they were like, can I have your brother's details, because somebody I know is running a campaign and they want to feature your brother. They want to feature your brother in the campaign. So I gave the email, and then the person emailed Omar, and then the person then through this middleman messaged me again and was like, oh hey, like this person saying that like Omar's not responding to the email, like can you maybe give his number? And I don't know, like this was also vague, so I was like, I'm not giving his number. So I messaged him, I was like, hey man, you should have received an email, and apparently like it's about getting on some billboards in Qatar. I was kind of like, yeah, whatever as well, like let's be honest. And then Omar was like, oh snap, I did receive that email, but I just ignored it because I thought that's fake. And I was like, nah bro, it's real, like this person's going to trust me, like reply to it. So he replied to it, and bro, like a few days later, like, so basically I think it's like so it's an Islamic organization of some sort. I don't know the details. I think it might be called like Explore Islam or something, but I could be wrong. They basically got some it's da'wah again, so it's like a da'wah movement to put people who are at the forefront of their industry. So for Omar, it's like tech and startup world, and they're trying to show that you can be successful in these different fields and attribute your success to your faith. So they wanted a quote that was like, why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has inspired you to be successful and that. So Omar's quote was something about innovation, obviously like not Islamic, not like religious innovation, but like innovation, technical innovation, stuff like that being a good thing, and about how his faith has inspired him to try and benefit humanity through innovation in that sense. And yeah, they featured it on there. So I had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, that is amazing though, to be on like a massive build like that.
Yeah, it's huge as well.
Yeah, we've lost Kaya, I think.
Oh, I did. Yeah, something happened.
Yeah, man, it's mad. So my brother-in-law who lives in Qatar, I was like, oh, like if you can get a picture, because the picture that we have so far is like a bit dead, and he was like, yeah, like I'll stand out there until that picture comes back, like, and I'll film it. Don't worry, I'm gonna videos everything. So, yeah. How are you, Only? How's things, man? You just jumped straight into the point. How's
I'm
things?
good, man. Alhamdulillah.
So, are you sad that you're not gonna be traveling now in December?
No. It's not the end yet. I'm still trying to do it.
Okay.
I'm still trying to do it. Yeah. It's just really annoying because I booked the flight like about a month ago, probably something like that. And I managed to get like really good airlines, and the time was great, and like I got it for a decent enough price, because the pricing during December is really mad right now. But now everything's out the window. So now you try to book flights, and all the airlines are really dead. You don't get baggage like Pegasus Airlines or Wizz Air or some, just some really cheap ones. And when you're trying to travel far, it's just really annoying. And the prices are a lot more. So I'm still trying to do it, but just trying to figure out, man. It just messed up my whole plan, basically. So,
it's a qadr, isn't it?
Sure.
Guys, give me 2 seconds. You guys carry on for a second. I'm getting a call and it might be important. You guys carry on.
The ad agency, bro. Tell him I'm available, bro.
Yeah. So we want to put you guys on more skyscrapers around the world.
How was the podcast? What did you guys talk about?
We spoke about we kind of ended up on public speaking as a topic, like just giving tips on public speaking. Have you ever done any public speaking?
Bro, I don't have too many good stories with public speaking, man. I'm not too good at it, to be honest.
I mean, we shared bad stories. I had a bad story, so you got a bad story.
I've got a terrible one, but I really want to share it. Maybe on Facebook.
Yeah, you have to. I won't repeat myself, but if you watch back this episode, you'll see my story. Yeah, kind of embarrassing. We shared a couple of embarrassing moments actually.
Really?
But you shared a kind of half embarrassing moment last time with the shawarma, so I won't ask you to out yourself again. What else did you discuss, man?
I had a bit of a scary. It wasn't really scary, but it's something funny that happened. Maybe I'll mention it when Fix gets back. But it was like, it wasn't scary, but I got scared in the moment. I wasn't expecting it, but I'll tell you. And it was to do with prayer, so it was like even more like, what's going on?
Okay.
I'll tell you.
Interesting.
I'll tell you.
Alright, we'll figure that out, inshallah. How's work and how's business?
Bro, it's alright, man. I had to do some errands today for work, and so I thought I'd be back by 5, but ended up being a bit later, man. But alhamdulillah.
So the emergency was...
I want to hear the story. Yeah. Go, Faisal.
Go on, Faisal.
The emergency was that my wife thought there was a lizard, but it was. I couldn't find it.
Bro, you by killing lizards you get like so much reward.
Is it? Well, then I'm bro. Inshallah,
bro,
akhi. Inshallah,
you get more. Akhi, you get more if you kill it in the first hit.
Oh, bro, first hit only for me, Ak.
How you kill? How you killing them, Faisal?
Bro, I've been licking off, bro. Bro.
Licking off.
I can't tell you how many lizards. Are you sure? Only I don't want to be proud of this, bro. I don't know. There's some fiqh behind it, but like, bro, I've been licking off lizards here.
Bro, it's a hadith.
Tell me how. I want to. Like, what tool are you using?
If you kill it in the first hit, you get a lot of reward.
Bro, the tool in my chappal, bro, my slipper. Bro, this is the level I've got to now, bro. So here's the trick of killing a lizard, yeah? They're so fast, you gotta slap a bit ahead of where it's currently at. Because it will get there by the time that you got down, you will get there. So the other day, bro, there's some serious lizards. Anyway, I came here in the summer, innit, so it's hot. And so, anyway, the other day, I've become so good at it that the other day, I was in a public place. I took my shoe off, bro. Bro, so I tell you what, it wasn't public, but it was like an Airbnb like corridor. So basically, obviously Sam was coming, we booked his Airbnb, his apartment and stuff. I'm leaving his apartment, there's one in, bro, so anyway, yeah. So I saw one on the floor, bro, I just took my shoe off, but I didn't pick it up after, and then I came the next day and it's gone. So some poor person had to pick up a dead lizard.
I didn't know there was lizards in Dubai, man. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, bro,
Yeah,
there's definitely not like a, it's not a problem. Like, there's not like, oh my gosh, there's lizards everywhere. But as in, you know, like just like Pakistan or where, in the desert, bro, like you're going to see like different, basically there's creatures in the UK, there's creatures all over the world, and they're different types according to different weathers. Like here, it's like more that kind of thing. But no, they're fine. They're harmless.
Are they dangerous?
Like you don't really get, you don't really get, I've not seen like spiders here. I've not seen rats and stuff like that. Whereas in London, there's like rats everywhere.
Yeah, London's.
I'll take a little lizard on the wall any day over a rat.
Bro, if a rat came in my house, I'll laugh a bit, man. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what even tool do you use to kill a rat, bro? I don't even know that. What do you get out to kill a rat, bro?
Bro,
like, I'm talking about those London rats. Like it's like basically a cat.
Yeah, the big one.
Bro, the tool you pull out is the phone, bro, and you Google 24-hour pest control, and you bell man and you say, "Come right now."
I don't think I've got a weapon in my home that would be good to kill a rat. That would be horrible, man. But yeah, so we've at least answered the question that you could definitely take lizards then. So lizards are definitely on the list of what you could.
Oh
take.
yeah, but you said a big
That's
animal.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I feel like animal cruelty. Yeah. I feel like animal cruelty people are gonna hate today's episode.
Is it Peter? They're gonna be like tweeting about this episode, man.
Yeah, these guys are proud of killing
lizards. Ollie's got a story for us about him getting scared.
Oh,
all right, let's go.
Yeah, I got a bit scared, man. I got a bit scared. Basically, this is gonna come across like a jinn story, but it's not. Yeah, I'll put like a bit of a warning out there. Okay, so I've been praying in this room. Yeah, this room is not occupied anymore. They use my brother's room. My brother's moved out. I live next door, and so I come in here because it's a bit bigger to pray. So I might even show you actually. Can I flip this camera? Oh no.
Try.
Oh yeah, I can. So alright, so yeah, look here. So I pray on this. I pray on this, right? Like this prayer mat. So every time I pray,
if I
normally line it up.
Yeah, it hasn't come through for us. Just that screen.
Oh wait. Now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah.
Fine. So I pray here, yeah.
Yeah.
And so every time I'll pray and I'll come back, like the prayer mat. Where's my finger? The prayer mat would like rise, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really bad. It's really difficult. Hold on, man. I'm having some technical difficulties there, bro. Anyway, what would happen? What would happen is that the prayer mat would go like a little bit like slanted, and I'd be like, bro, this is really weird. And you notice there's a carpet underneath. So what I'd do the next day, I'd come and I'd line up with the carpet, so it's completely parallel to the carpet. Yeah. Pray a couple more days and stuff, and then slowly it would just start going a bit more right. This is really strange. I don't know why it's happening. Blah, blah, blah. So I was like, maybe it's a nice jinn, and it's just maybe correcting my qibla, right? It's like perfecting my qibla, so it's making it all nice. First, remember like last week we were speaking about, not last week, the week before, about raising iman and like certain things that we do to like get better iman and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I'll try to do is to recite long in salah, right?
Okay.
As much as I can, like the longest ones that I can, whatever. So this one particular day, I'm reading Isha quite late, like midnight, maybe a little bit after midnight. Mm-hmm. So it's completely black, except for the light that's on, yeah? And so I think to myself, I'm alone, I'm all good. Let me recite as much as I can. Let me do like really long surah, yeah? So I'm reciting, and I'm conscious about, my prayer mat's been moving all this time. And so I'm reciting really long, as much as I can, and the light switches off. So now it's completely pitch black. I can't see anything. So I'm thinking, bro, I'm in salah. I can't leave it. It's Isha. It's the fun. I can't leave it. So, bro, I just start reciting like louder, thinking, Quran, if anything is here, let it leave, bro. I'm just going to recite Quran. Okay, I'm for like a few minutes, bro, because now I'm reciting long, but I've also I've lost my thought of where I can stop and start in the surah. So I'm not trying to stop in a place where I can't stop. So I keep going, I keep going. And then finally, bro, the light starts flickering and it just slowly turns back on, bro. I was so shook while I was praying, Salah. I don't think I've ever been shook like that praying Salah, only because the build up to it was so long. It was like over 2-3 weeks. I was like, man, my prayer mat keeps moving. But now I don't think it's anything. I just think that every time I thought it can't be me because the prayer mat is on carpet, right? So the friction is strong.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I'm like, it can't be me when I'm getting up. It's me, and it's moving too perfectly. But I haven't still figured it out. But and the light bulb's been changed, and everything's fine, inshallah.
What makes you think it's not?
I
What
found
makes you
it
think it's
scary.
not a jinn?
Because when I don't pray in this room, it doesn't move. So I'm like, maybe it's my physical being there that I'm like, it
Yeah.
moves because of the way I
It's
get up
probably
or
like,
something like that.
yeah, it's probably when you
But
get
I'm
up.
still
Like,
experimenting with it.
it's probably like when you
Sorry?
get up, you're using your like right or left foot to like put like moving it
Yeah.
centimeter, probably. But yeah,
Bro, I thought that, but I thought it like the whole thing has to move for there not to be any bulges on it and any sort
yeah.
of folds, right? The whole thing has to move perfectly, and it
It's,
all
it's moving
perfect.
perfectly. Yeah, it's got no folds in or anything.
Yeah, nothing. It's clean.
We need to get Omar Khwaja in this. This is a physics issue. Omar Khwaja was someone who worked at Freshly Grounded before. This
It's
guy's
above
a genius.
yeah, it's above my pay grade
Is
for
it?
sure, man.
Bro,
But
so
I
there's
keep
this guy who
updated.
used to work. There's a guy who used to work at Freshly Grounded, right? His name was Omar Khwaja.
I never met
Sickest
him.
guy. Yeah, bro, sickest
Did
guy.
I?
Oh, no, you didn't meet him. He was only here for about 3 months.
I don't know.
Bro, he was the sickest guy. One of the best people I've met. Kareem loved him. I loved him. And bro, this guy, Alon Barak, he's so clever. I think he did physics degree.
Oh, my bad.
But he's so clever, Alon Barak, that he was too clever. Like by the way, the reason he left on good terms, alhamdulillah. Like he got an opportunity that was a really positive opportunity, alhamdulillah, and it was amazing. But we still talk rarely. But like he came to the events and stuff like that. This guy's a genius, yeah. And like people who are that clever, they don't realize that they're as clever as they are. And so he was also too clever. Like us, we're just a bunch of lads in the office, yeah. Like we're all just not dumbos, but like we're just regular guys in the office, right? We busted like stupid jokes and stuff. But Khwaja, he was very smart, and so he is very smart. And so like his intelligence was higher than our jokes. Does that make sense? And so he would like outsmart the jokes, and then like with like basic questions because he's trying to figure it out. And so like this is such a rubbish story because you had to be there one, and those stories are the worst because they're not funny at the end. But like one of the guys in the office, he like broke a piece of the wood on like our coffee table, and so he covered it up by. It turned out he ended up covering it up by like putting something that looks like decoration. And then like one day we were there, and like Omar Khwaja was like moved it. He's like, oh, like what's that? And we were like, oh, the guy damaged coffee table, so he moved it for decoration. And then he just, this is a rad story because I can't even remember the joke. But he just asked a really basic question. Like he was like we found it funny that this guy covered it up, but he was like, that's really not clever. Like it hasn't been effective or something like that. But it's like it was like a really. But anyway,
Bro, what did
so
he do
bad.
at Freshly Grounded?
He would like he was like everything, bro. Like everything that Freshly Grounded is a startup, bro. It's like there's like specific roles. There's like emails need to be written, like or whatever. Like we're all just like doing different things. So
he didn't have like a specific role.
No, he was there for 3 months post university. And like he was like while he was looking for like a job that was like more like appropriate for someone who's that clever. like he ended up getting like this sick job at Homburg. So bro, so the whole point of the story is that one day Zachariah's video camera when Zachariah was little that we used to like look at him in the room that broke. Like the monitor broke, right? So it's just like, what is it called? Like a nighttime camera or something, like a CCTV. Yeah. It CCTV sounds too professional, but like a baby camera to like watch him.
Baby CCTV. Yeah.
Baby monitor.
Yeah, that's it.
So the monitor a bit broke, right? But it was like basically the wire had like Zachary was like playing with it and like pulled the wire out or something. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna ring Khwaja. So I rang Omar Khwaja. I was like, Omar, like can I FaceTime you? He's like, yeah. I hadn't spoken to him in ages at this point. Yeah. So I was like, can I FaceTime you? I'm like, look, I've got this issue. I've opened it up and it's like there's an issue with like the motherboard. So bro, I FaceTimed him on FaceTime. He's like, all right, get a tweezer, get a piece of foil, do this, do that. And like he like basically could recognize all the different elements, and he helped me put it all back together because it was 40 quid. I was like, I need to fix it or pay another 40 quid. And he's so intelligent, bro, yeah. I mean, people probably be listening to this like, oh, it's so simple, but it wasn't. And he helped me put it all back together. And then it's all started working again. And then, we were like, oh, like, I was like, oh, thanks. I hung up, right? And then I was like, oh, what happens though? Like if this piece of metal touches this piece of metal? He was like, oh yeah, if that happens, like, you know, it could blow up. And then I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, but just like make sure it doesn't touch it. I was like, okay. So we put this whole monitor back together. And then like, you know, we put the monitor on the kitchen counter. We're like, you know, really proud, looking at Zachariah sleeping. We're like, oh, like it's working, great, saved 40 quid. And then me and my wife were looking at it and I was like, do you think this is a good idea? Like the fact that we've just like put this thing back together. We're going to go sleep now and the monitor is still going to be on like all night. And we were like, this can't be a good idea. Like we've just put back a motherboard together like by ourselves, like with like pieces of foil and stuff. Like if something goes wrong and like the wire trips, like it could go on fire. So we're like, yeah, this is not a good idea. So after all that effort, we just ended up smashing it up anyway. And then I just paid 40 quid for a new one.
Yeah. Sounds had not similar situations, but similar situations.
It was just not worth it. Like we were looking like this is not safe. Like what are we doing?
Yeah. That's jokes. Alhamdulillah.
Right, this has been an hour and a half. As fun as this, it was fun to see you on Lee. But it's 10:30 p.m. here in the UK, in Dubai, UAE. So we will go.
Call it a day.
But it's been lovely to see you. And what is your plan for the rest of the day? It's only 6:30 for you.
It is only 6:30. Ustad Yahya has a talk in Dar es Salaam, so I'm gonna, if I can make it, I'm gonna try to go there. Spend some time with him. Inshallah.
Have you been going to the tafsir classes, Kaya? The Sheikh Tim Humble's ones?
I haven't, but I do want to go. So if you're up for it one evening, we should arrange it and go, man.
The timing doesn't work for me.
Is it in Dubai?
Same as well. Yeah, it's doing it in Dubai.
The Juz Tabarak one.
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
correct. Yeah.
Yes, I think it is.
Is it online?
Yeah, it's online.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll catch up with you online then.
I started watching the first one yesterday, the first episode last night.
Yeah.
He's going from bottom to up. I thought it'd be the other way around. But he's going from bottom to up. Yeah. Mursalat onwards.
That's interesting. I wonder what they're thinking.
Yeah, I think he must have done Juz Amma from the bottom as well.
Okay.
So he's just following the pattern, I guess.
Yeah, it's not ideal for me, like a day and time, but it would be nice to at least attend once. But yeah.
How far is it for you guys, that masjid?
Not far, man. About 20 minutes, actually.
The train was quite about 35 minutes for me.
Yeah.
You guys should go.
Yeah, we should, man. There's a few durus now, like across Dubai. Like there's even some from like scholars. They do it in Arabic, and I wouldn't be able to understand everything they say. But I just want to go anyway, just to like get any barakah there and just sit and watch and listen.
Yeah, sit amongst the angels. Yeah.
Amazing,
yes,
amazing.
I think after every in one mosque in Barsha, it's after every Maghrib Salah or Isha Salah. I think it's Maghrib. Every day, I think. So we should definitely if we're up for it, we should just head down there, man.
Every day, you said?
Benefit. I think it's every day. Yeah, I think it's every day. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Salah's good. Only what time? I'm coming to London next month, inshallah. What time is Salah there now? Like these days?
Which one, bro? Do you want the whole breakdown?
Yeah, bro. Give me a breakdown. It's only 5, bro. It's only 5. It's not going to take you a day. Fajr al-Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha.
I'll tell you exact ones. Fajr is 5.
Let's compare it. Let me get the UAE ones.
5:50 is Fajr, yeah. So
5:50.
Yeah. So you
ooh, that's later
like
then.
Just before 7:30. 7:28 is sunrise. Yeah.
Wow.
Here, well, it's not a huge difference, right? Here is 5:19. Fajr begins and sunrise is 6:35.
Sunrise is so much earlier, though.
Yeah, sunrise is a lot earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. True.
Dhuhr is at 11:52, just before midday.
Oh, that's not too bad. We're fast at 12:07.
1:44 for Asr.
Oh, Asr for us is 3:09 or something, I think.
Yeah,
really?
It is.
Yeah, so 11:50 and then 1:45.
Is that like the?
It's quick. No, it's the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
Yeah.
even that's not even like thing here. Like the asr is like the later time, the fiqh later time.
Really? But like default.
Is that correct? Faisal, I think right
I
saying
didn't
that.
even know. I just checked the time, like, because I use the Dubai Now app, so it just tells me the
Yeah, I mean it must be because
I never considered what
309,
rule they took.
309.
What time is
Maghrib's at
Maghrib then?
5:33. Maghrib, put it this way, asr is 309, Maghrib
Mm.
5:33. So yes, it's the later time always. Like the earlier time is just not here.
Yeah, here the
That's
good
really
thing is, do
interesting.
you know what's beautiful about here is that all of the masajid, the timings are aligned, so it's not based on like per masjid. Like in the UK, is like each individual masjid gets its like can
Yeah.
set its own rules. Here, everything like works as a jama'at, which is I think probably I don't know. You'd have to like check, but I know generally speaking, like things should be done in a jama'at, like if possible. So that's nice.
I find that really interesting, man.
What time is Maghrib, bro? That's a
Very
big one because that tells us what time it gets dark in London.
409. 409.
Ooh.
Yeah. 409.
5:33 here.
Really? That's Isha time for us. 5:37.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's mad.
407, 409.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It must get. It's
It will
just.
start going. It will start going back the other way probably soon, though, in the next few days. I'm completely guessing. No, it's still going lower.
Anything special happening in the World Cup? Sorry, I know we're meant to be ending the podcast, which we will be doing, but anything special happening in like Zaha or / Central London for the World Cup? Like, is there hoo-ha or not really?
Zero idea, bro. Very, very little idea. I have no idea, actually. It's not little, it's no.
No.
It's no idea.
Zero idea.
Nothing in
Fine.
Zaha, anyway.
Fine.
Yeah.
You're not gonna sell like a football cake or something. They don't even sell cake.
When you come, maybe we'll do something special for you. Bro,
Yeah.
when you come, you better come to Zaha.
Well, of course, bro. It's gonna be one of the first places I go, inshallah.
Yeah, straight off the plane. I will hold you to that now. Along with all the viewers. We're all going to hold you against this.
Yeah, I'm not coming straight off the plane. I'll put that out there now. It's so far.
What time do you land? Do you know the time?
Yeah, like 6 a.m.
Yeah,
You got a night flight, yeah?
have some respect, bro. We're open to 11:30.
I only book night flights with the kids, man. So the kids hopefully
Really?
get the best chance.
For me, it's the opposite, man. There's no way I'm risking a night flight
Why?
because I
really?
doesn't sleep on a plane, bro.
Yeah, bro. Okay, fair enough.
Bro, we did it once. It was horrific. Horrors at 30,000 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Are you coming as well? You might as well.
He's gonna.
I don't know. I don't think I am now, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't think I am.
Can I just ask quickly? I can't afford it, so it's completely irrelevant conversation. But can children technically fly on business class? Because in theory, business class would mean that there's business people on there who probably want to do work, so they wouldn't want to be distracted by crying children. Is that correct?
One, I like the way we always come back somehow to flights and discussions. Yeah, it always happens. Yeah. Two, I think they can. Yeah, but do I have the gall to do it to the others? To like, oh,
Yeah.
you want a business? Oh, you paid $3,000 for this ticket. Yeah, I've got my toddler here.
Watch
He's gonna
this.
Scream. Yeah. Watch how much your ticket is worth now, mate. Yeah, I don't know if I would have the audacity to do it. I do think you can. Yeah,
But I'm sure rich people would do it though. They don't care.
I don't know.
They wouldn't be like, oh, because of my kids, I don't want to disrupt those guys, so I'll go economy. Nah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, put it this way: it was not embarrassing. I don't want to say embarrassing, but it was not ideal when my daughter was like crying most of the night on that flight back to the other people. I was apologetic and I felt bad, genuinely felt bad. Imagine how you feel if it was business flight as well. It was like this guy's dropped like $5,000. Yeah, it's long, man.
Yeah, I would do. But Kaya, I'm looking for an excuse to go back to London by myself because the next time I'm going by myself, I'm definitely going to upgrade to premium economy. Have you seen Emirates' new premium economy? It's like business. It's like business class, bro. It's like 200 quid extra.
But what's it coming with? Because I think I saw it once. It was like, oh, what's the big deal?
Well, the new business class, it looks really nice. It's like spacious.
Not business class. No, the premium economy.
The new premium economy. You've seen it?
Yeah, I didn't get the big deal though.
Oh, bro, it's like only 2 seats per row. They're wider. You get extra leg
really?
room. Like,
okay. Fair enough. In that case, you've already sold it to me. It's all right. Yeah, if I was going by myself, I'd definitely do that.
Yeah. But when do you ever go to?
I don't.
Yeah, exactly. You never travel by yourself. But me and you, one day we should travel on business. Like we should just travel for the sake of business.
Inshallah.
Well, let's create a
Inshallah.
business so that we can travel for business and then
Yeah, that should be one of our
economy.
goals. That should be one of our
Yeah.
goals, man. I'm on that.
Yeah.
Bro,
alright,
in fact, if you're setting goals, first class.
cool. Bro, no, that's just ridiculous. It's like 10 grand.
First class, Faisal.
I was saying premium economy. You're saying you're jumping business. You're jumping business now.
No, we'll say business there because first class is a bit. I think first class crosses the line to extravagance. Like even if you're mad rich, to be fair. So we'll say
Yeah,
business
let's
class,
do business. Let's set up a business for the sake of flying business class.
Okay, we'll discuss that further offline. But yeah,
Bro, we need to do an in-person meeting. Let's do that, man. All right,
Yes.
Only, Kaya, thank you so much. Only, did you watch episode 300?
I did, bro. I loved it. I was going to mention
you
that,
watched
but
it?
it slipped my mind. Yeah, I watched all
Sick.
of it.
How was it?
It was amazing.
Oh, you liked it, yeah?
It was really good, man. Yeah, it was really,
Oh,
really
good.
amazing.
Did it bring back vibes?
I don't know. All the vibes, bro. It was lovely to see you and Sam together as well.
Yeah.
That banter that you have is just very second to none, man. It's very unique, like as you mentioned it in the podcast, man.
I'm glad you watched it.
Alhamdulillah.
Glad you watched it. All right, guys. Enjoy your evenings, inshallah. And we'll see you next week.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.